I kid you not, I did not get any of my internships until the very last minute. Hi, my name is Kimber Marie, your attorney friend who is obsessed with all things intellectual property. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am in the process of memorializing my law school experience, so that way as time passes and I forget the details, I hopefully can put all this here and other aspiring law students or current law students can watch it and get insights from someone who's been there and done that and got the t-shirt. This video is about internships. So I did videos on 1L, 2L, 3L year, my bar exam experience. I figured we need to have a video just talking about internships. My first year, my 1L summer, I interned for California Lawyers for the Arts. It was an unpaid experience, part-time actually, and I worked from home remotely, so I was not actually in California, but everyone else, the team that we worked for and the other legal interns were in California, so it was just nice to get to network and work with people in a completely different state. And California Lawyers for the Arts is a great nonprofit. I'm still to this day so impressed with the programs that they have. I will get into the details a little bit more on what that was like in a minute, but just so you have an overview, for 2L summer, I interned at BBB National Programs in McLean, Virginia, but again, I primarily worked from home, but I did go up and visit in person for one of their big events that they had going on, and that was so fun. This was a paid opportunity, which I was very excited about, and it was primarily in data privacy, which is an area I'm interested in. It's not ranked as high as intellectual property and art law and cultural heritage, but data privacy is so important these days because everything is online, and cybersecurity is such a big concern these days, especially with new technologies coming out and just technology evolving as quickly as it is. All that to say, I was very thankful for this experience. And then post graduation, so after 3L year, after taking the bar, I worked temporarily as a law clerk for Luff Tumlin PLLC, again, remote position, but it was doing intellectual property work part-time temporarily. And then I accepted a position as a LinkedIn ghostwriter for Contender LLC, which is based in Canada, but again, everyone works remotely, like their whole team is remote. So I'll get into the details starting now. 1L year, I was doing a little bit of networking. I went to a website that was basically listing all of these art law resources, all of these lawyers who practice art law. It was like 30 people, and I just went down the list and cold emailed all of them. I think I maybe got 2 actual responses. One of them was with a connection who I consider a mentor now out in California. He does a little bit of art law in his practice, and he was open to chatting with me and just doing like an informational interview. When I tell you this is the happiest lawyer I've ever met, or one of the happiest lawyers I've ever met, I absolutely mean it. Like, I was so blown away by how happy and satisfied he was with his practice, his life, that I walked away from that meeting and immediately Googled legal internships in California. And this was spring of 1L year. I didn't have an internship lined up. Trust me, both years I had been applying for internships as early as the summer or fall before, and nothing was happening. And so I just started digging around, like, what's California got going on, even though I do not want to take the California bar exam. And I came across California Lawyers for the Arts. Lo and behold, they had an opening for a legal internship for the summer, unpaid, but still it's in art law, and that was really important to me. And so I emailed over my application, heard back within a week, had an interview within the next week, and then literally like another maybe 2 or 3 weeks later started the internship. A lot of the tasks for that was Each intern was expected to present on a subject that was interesting to them by the end of the summer. So there was some research involved for that. But the rest of it was really client intake and observing mediations, because California Lawyers for the Arts, they have two big programs. One is their Sacramento mediation program, and then their arts arbitration and mediation program. So as volunteer interns, we got to learn about mediation. We were trained on how to do client intake over the phone for people who are interested in mediation and might need mediation. So a lot of the week was spent making calls, listening to calls, organizing like the details of the intake information as needed, the way that they like it. And then I was accepted into Elon as a leadership fellow. And so one of the things that comes along with that is a stipend for one internship you can use. So since this was unpaid, I used it for that experience. That also meant that I had a mentor throughout the summer who would review my journal entries. I had to keep a journal throughout that experience, writing down the tasks that I was learning, everything that I was doing. And I would meet with them periodically just to go over everything and make sure I was completing my hours. 2L summer, same situation, couldn't find an internship, and this was the year that I really prioritized personal branding and networking, primarily on LinkedIn. It was during the spring trimester, I was on residency. Go and check out my 2L video to learn more about that. There was maybe like a month before the summer was about to begin. I didn't have anything lined up. I came so close to just accepting whatever came my way, but I was so hopeful that something that I looked forward to would come my way. And sure enough, one day I get a message from a connection I had made on LinkedIn in the data privacy space, because I was looking more into that along with IP. And he said, I have a friend whose legal intern, like it fell apart, like they can't do it anymore. Would you be interested in this position? It's all data privacy. I said, absolutely. Had an interview like a week later, and then again, 2-3 weeks later, started the position. And this one was paid, still worked remotely, but this time it was for BBB national programs. So a much bigger organization than the nonprofit I had previously interned for. And the whole summer was really just legal research, writing, doing internal memos. I went through and researched all of the comprehensive data privacy laws that were being passed in the US at the time for an internal memo. And then I also did a global version of that, but I think I only looked at like 18 or 19 comprehensive data privacy laws in that one. And then also was looking at FTC cases against tech companies for privacy violations. It was a very fascinating internship. Again, loved it. I was so grateful that I could work from home and get paid and get this amazing experience. Plus everyone there was just absolutely amazing. So that was 2L summer. If you notice a trend, neither of those were with law firms. So a piece of advice I would give is, if I were to go back, I think I would have applied more to law firms. The reason I didn't was because I was scared. I was convinced that I would suck at it, that I would hate working in a law firm, and that I just wouldn't like it. Fast forward to post bar exam and post those 2 jobs that I'm about to tell you about, and I'm now working for a full service IP law firm. There are moments in the work that I do now where I wish that I had just forced myself to get the experience and just try to find as best of a firm as I could in that moment to go and get experience and mentorship of what it's like to work in a law firm. Fast forward a little bit more, the bar exam's over. I don't have a job lined up. I'm having flashbacks to all the moments when I didn't have an internship lined up, and I am hoping and praying that a job opportunity will come through at any moment. And it did. It was again, part-time temporary law clerk position with an IP firm in my area where I live. And it was great. The lawyer that I worked for at the time was really great, very great temperament. Like, I was nervous about doing the work because I had put off working for a law firm that whole time. And so I was worried that I just would not know what to do. But he was very great and patient and gave great feedback. So I'm very thankful that one of my mentors was looking out for me and made that recommendation. And also, it was helpful to have somewhat of an income while job searching. As I was law clerking for this firm, it wasn't a full-time position, and I really wanted something with benefits, or at the very least, just more pay, because student loans were going to start back super soon. And one of my connections on LinkedIn, he started his own ghostwriting for lawyers company. And it's like a mix of personal branding along with copywriting to help lawyers present themselves on LinkedIn and leverage that platform for referrals and connections and personal branding opportunities. I started talking with him like the fall before, and he really liked my content. I liked his content. And so when the bar exam was over, he was like, I have extra work. We could use some help if you're interested. I said yes. So I split my time between the work for the firm and then for Contender. The work for the firm, that started, again, it was temporary. So some of the work was I wasn't needed after a certain amount of time. And so I went full time for Contender and was just convinced that I was not going to be an attorney. I think I was so burnt out from the bar exam law school experience and was depleted of any confidence that I had in myself. I really just didn't think that I was going to do it. And I was looking at just becoming a professional copywriter until one day I was doing an interview for one of the clients that we had and was just so impressed by her, and was just like, as much as I do like the work that I'm doing, I love that it allows me to be creative. I want to be on the other side of this table right now. Like, I want to be the attorney that is being an attorney, that's doing the legal work and is sharing all these stories about what it's like to be an attorney. That was a light bulb moment for me. And basically, I was back to the drawing board. My position there ended on August 30th, and I started panicking because at this point my loans are back in full swing. Was just networking the hell out of LinkedIn. Get a message from Francesca, the lawyer I work for now at ESCA.legal, and she is one of the first people I connected with 1L year, literally one of the first people I called before 1L year, actually. She does these 15-minute calls with law students, and we just stayed in touch. Again, I had been prioritizing my own branding on LinkedIn, so I was top of mind. I had also emailed over my resume just a few weeks before getting this message from her. At the time, they weren't hiring, but then things ramped up. She messaged me. She was like, can you talk at this time, like in an hour? Can you send over your resume and transcript? In my mind, I said, hell yes. In LinkedIn, I said, absolutely. Here it is. I'll talk with you in an hour. And then this was exactly, let me look at the calendar. This was a week and a half after my job ended. I started the next day. I'm still here now, and I love it. Like, this is a dream position to be working in IP and brand protection, which was my goal going into law school, to have an intellectual property position. So I'm on cloud 9 right now. It's a firm that really prioritizes work-life balance, and it's all intellectual property. It's full service, so I get to see a little bit of everything. The moral of the story on this video is 1, network. Create a personal brand, commit to it, meet people, talk to people. Don't go into the meetings expecting a job or an internship, but just challenge yourself. How many new people can I meet per week? How many people can I connect with on LinkedIn and have an informational interview and just get to know them? Be curious. That's how I started all of my conversations. What was your legal journey like? How did you get to where you are today? What do you like about your position? What do you like about your job? Just be curious, but please, please leverage your brand and network. It is so critical. It saved my butt. Those 2 summer internships, it saved my butt on those. And it also closed the gap on what could have been a months-long job search process after I decided that I did in fact want to be an attorney, which is good because I just spent 3 years training to become one. That's how I got where I am now. That is a summary of my internship experience. If you have any questions about any of those internships, or I guess like what it's like to be an attorney now and working day to day, please put them in the comments. Give me a follow at Kimber Marie James on my socials. Subscribe here on YouTube to hear more about my legal journey and advice I would give to law students and other associates. And connect with me on LinkedIn because I'm still networking the hell out of LinkedIn just because I think it's a great platform.